Hello, Baby Gang says this is Calvin, also known as Roman, and this is a Q&A and community video for June 2025. The first question I got is if you could pick a Honkai Star Rail character, this is from Flowerbit, by the way, to come into Genshin Impact, not like a crossover, more like an alternate reality version of that person. Who would you like to see in that world, and which region do you think they would be in, and what would they be doing? I don't, out of all the characters I know in Honkai Star Rail to go into Genshin Impact, I do think that, like, a Bronya, like, I think Bronya being brought in, right, and becoming, like, a high-ranking member of, like, the Knights of Favonius, and, like, the storyline would basically be, like, this new character's come in and not taken Jean's job, but, like, relieved some of the workload from Jean so Jean can actually, like, enjoy her life, and the story is also, like, of Jean and Barbara, basically, like, you know, having a day out with each other and, like, realizing she can do this a lot more, and basically, like, having, like, Bronya and, like, Jean share a lot of this, like, crazy workload of the Knights of Favonius, and Bronya is, I think Bronya would be obviously, like, really at home in terms of, like, Fontaine, like, of course, like, I think that for some reason she gives, like, Fontainian vibes, but I also think that, like, she could help out so much, especially, like, with the recent wartime stuff, even though they did fantastic, and Mondstadt did amazing, by the way, and Jean does amazing. I don't want to make it seem like Jean's not doing a good job. She's doing an amazing job, but, like, I would also, like, you know, just, like, that would be, like, my ideal storyline if I'm thinking about it now, the idea of, like, Bronya coming in and, like, taking some of, like, the workload, like, being, like, a vice president type thing of the Knights of Favonius, and then, like, you could also have, like, the B story of it be, like, Bronya's, like, you know, getting to know all the Knights of Favonius and how crazy they are, because I think she'd be like, this place is so weird. This is so weird. Like her being very, like, straightforward with Kaya and not, like, understanding, like, his sarcasm and his, like, you know, cunning wit, you know, understanding how to deal with Klee, you know, learning stuff about Albedo, all this stuff, like Eula, and taking Eula seriously as well. Not that she, like, just takes people seriously all the time, we can't joke, but you know what I mean? Like, it would be a really big thing adjusting. But yeah, that would be my ideal story for that, at least. But I hope that answers that question very well, but I think that would be really fun in some way. Esmanalco says, if you weren't a content creator, what job do you think you would have right now? Or what field do you think you would go into? Honestly, like, I can't really imagine. I always wanted to do something in, like, with my voice. And the dream when I was a kid was to become a wrestling commentator. That was the dream. I wanted to become a wrestling commentator. But the thing is about it is that, like, it's, like, it takes a lot of effort and stuff like this. So obviously, like, I, you know, like, it's not that I don't want to put in the effort, but it's more like an effort of, like, hey, move to America. You know what I mean? Or, like, not, you know, I know you don't have to move to America, but, like, you know what I mean? If you want to be, like, a really successful one. Honestly, like, my dream job was either commentator or I wanted to, like, write for, like, a comedy show. I know it sounds strange, but I wanted to write for a comedy show. I even, like, used to write spec scripts of, like, cartoons I would watch as a kid. Like, I remember, like, when I was, like, I think I was, like, 10 years old, and I was writing, like, scripts for, like King of the Hill and stuff like this, of, like, and they were obviously probably very bad. You know what I mean? But I get to, like, you know, I was like, this is what I want to do. I think, like, it would be something to do with writing. Maybe, like, something to do with, like, journalism or something like that. My old, you know, teachers used to say that I would be, like, good in, like, politics because, you know, I have, I don't really back down from my political beliefs or something. I don't know, like, something like that. But, like, in terms of what I would want to, what I see myself doing, it probably would be something with, like, either politics or, like, journalism. What I would want to do would be something like writing. I think it'd be something like that. Yeah, interesting question. Honestly, interesting question. The next is from Yassassin. If you were isekai into another world universe, what would the setting or place, what kind of setting or place would it be? And would it be, what would your role in the world? Isekais are so interesting to me because I actually think it'd be interesting if, like, I was, like, warped, like, I would, like, just for, like, a few weeks, because obviously I wouldn't be able to handle it, but, like, I always, like, would love to see what, like, and this is, maybe it's a boring answer, but, like, I would have loved to have met a lot of, like, the Irish leaders from, like, the late 1800s and the early 1900s. And I know it's my own country, but you know what I mean? I know it's not, doesn't really count, maybe it doesn't count, but, like, I really would love to, like, be, like, warped there. And, like, kind of, I know it's more of a time machine thing, but you know what I mean. Like I'd love to be warped there and meet them. And I know it probably could be kind of thing where they just wouldn't give a damn about like what I'm saying, because like I don't have like a thick enough Irish accent to probably be like, who is this guy coming in here? But I'd love to talk to them and really pick their brain as it pertains to like their feelings at the time. And even though I know a lot about their like their writings and their poetry and stuff like this that they wrote, but like I'd love to just like talk to them directly and hear how they're feeling at this moment emotionally and stuff like this. Other than that, like I would love to be warped into the Final Fantasy 12 world, and just for like a week, and just like so I could talk to like all the people of Rabanastra and see how they're doing right now. And then on the other vein, I'd love to be warped into the Final Fantasy 10 world. Again, I on the condition that I get to like talk to like Yuna and like Lulu and Waka and all this like stuff. If not, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. And then also the Shenmue world as well. I know it's like just a different country, by the way. I know people can be like, Calvin, that's just like Japan and China. Yes, but like in the actual universe of Shenmue, I would like to be there. Or like the Trails of Cold Steel universe, I'd love to like, again, on the condition that I get to talk to all the characters, because if not, I don't want to be in a war-torn like Trails of Cold Steel, nation. I don't want to be there for that as well. But yeah, that would be kind of like my choice things to get warped into. I know it's like more of a time machine stuff and video game stuff, but that would be like my thing. In terms of like what I would be doing there, I would just be like someone who's like selling like newspapers or something, and like I get to talk to them once in a while. They come up to me and they're like, how's the day going? And I'm like, how's the war effort going there, Reen Schwarzer? Things going bad for you? Things going good? Something like that. I don't know. Something like that. Juliana asks, if you could talk to Calvin from the past, the one from when you started this channel, what would you say? Interesting question. I would say that like first thing is like build up your trust with your audience as soon as possible, because one of the things I did in the past that like obviously I feel like I definitely disagree with now is the idea that like when you play a game and I don't finish it, like and you look in the channel and see like most like the majority of the games, I would say like if I played like say 80 games on the channel, maybe even more, like I think only like 3 of them are not finished. But and maybe even like some of them are like we're just like first looks at games. Of course that's different. But like what I mean is like early on in the days, and you probably won't even notice now because you look at the playthroughs, but if you look at the timing of some playthroughs, like you'll see like some of the Mario playthroughs and some of the Zelda playthroughs, especially Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, there are like wide gaps between like uploads sometimes, because I would literally just stop playing and then come back to it months later, and which, while there's nothing inherently wrong with that, you should play what you want to play, I was enjoying those games, and of course Ocarina of Time, like I feel like I struggled with it because it was just like my first time playing like a really old game like that, like on the channel, so I was like really bad at it. But like when I say build up a trust with an audience, I mean that if I play a game, say I play Persona 4 Golden, and then halfway through the game I stop playing it and I move on to playing like Baldur's Gate 3, or that's a bad example because we stopped playing Baldur's Gate 3, but let's say I go on, I play Trials and Tribulations. I play through Trials and Tribulations for 20 episodes, then I move on to Persona 5, and then I play Persona 5 for 10 episodes, and I move on again and stuff like this. And obviously I didn't do that, but I'm saying if you do something like that, and I was close to doing stuff like that, the thing is that will happen is your audience, very rightly so, even I would do this stuff when watching a channel, is like, well, I don't know if he's going to finish Deltarune, so why should I watch this Deltarune playthrough just to know that he's going to play 3 parts and not come back to it? And I say, yeah, build up that trust with the audience that they know, okay, this guy finished playthroughs, he plays the games he likes, he does all this stuff as well, and yeah, that's what I would say. Because again, it's not a matter, by the way, I want to make it clear, it's not a matter of like play games you don't want to play, because you guys know I stopped playing, Mario Bros. Wii U because I wasn't enjoying it. I stopped playing, Sister Location because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I will always stop a game if I don't enjoy it. But if you're enjoying a game, moving on to the next shiny thing, and this was like 8 years ago, right? 8 years ago, but still, it's like, don't do that, and like you'll grow a big trust in your audience much quicker, which I feel like we have that trust now that like, okay, Calvin's gonna play this game, it's gonna be hopefully enjoyable, and yeah, stuff like that. I would also say as well, things are gonna get like so amazing year after year, and it's gonna get better and better, and you're gonna love it even more and more every single year that goes by. Because obviously there was times not when I didn't like it, but I was like, oh, I've been doing this for a long time, I should probably like maybe try to move on to like something else. But the reason why I know that would never actually work is because every single, and I'm glad I didn't quit, by the way. But the reason why that doesn't work is because if you how do I say, if you like when I get to the weekend, and I usually take 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday, when I get to that weekend, what generally happens is that like I think the first thing I think about in the morning is like maybe I could get in like one sneaky recording today, but I have to like force myself not to record because I genuinely enjoy it so much. I'm just like, just do one recording today. You know what I mean? Just do like an hour of a game, you know, today, and you know, you can, it'll be fun. But no, I have to like, you know, you have to force yourself to take breaks sometimes as well, and I feel like that's like such a an important aspect of things too. One big thing, and this is probably that's something that's surprising for a lot of people. The old Twilight Princess playthrough is a perfect example of this. I would just say like just be yourself quicker. You know what I mean? Definitely be yourself quicker. I think I was trying to be funny too much in like early days of YouTube, like because I felt like one of the biggest things when I started doing YouTube was like you had to be a little bit like cynical, and making fun of games was like way more popular, and it's still popular now. Like if you know shite on a game, it's gonna be so popular. Like it's actually still one of the most popular things to do is to like upload a video saying like, hey, this sucks, which is nothing wrong with it. If that's your opinion, you do what you have to do. But I think at the time, like I was playing like even Twilight Princess, and I was like being like very rude about like the Gorons and stuff like this, and like I was like, you know, they should just help us and all this stuff, and you know they're really, you know, annoying. And it's like I didn't feel that way. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like it doesn't feel, how do I say it? It doesn't feel good looking back on it, because like, you know, I really feel like large portions of that playthrough were me just trying too hard to be some funny, you know, cynical person, which is not who I am. And obviously like I've changed even more over the years, because I feel like if you watch like my playthroughs from like 2018, like I probably like, you know, I still make jokes, and I'm still, you know, will try, you know, I still like making jokes, and I like, you know, hopefully making people laugh, even if it's me being an idiot. But like I feel like there was a period of time where like I wish I could go back and be like, no, just be yourself. Just be yourself, you know, just do this, you know. And I think also like don't worry about taking too much time as well, because I used to think like, oh, like I'm already 30 parts in this playthrough, but now people like, one of the things people say they like about the channel is that like they're like, you talk a lot about a lot of stuff, and like to me that's like, okay, perfect. Because I am a yapper. But yeah, all those things I feel like it would be really good to tell to myself back then. I think it would make a better channel a lot quicker. Yeah, and like with the whole thing of like I'll be yourself thing, like that's what I do with YouTube videos now. It's like like when people ask me what's your commentary style, I usually just say how I'm feeling, express how I'm feeling, describe how I'm feeling, talk about my thoughts at all times. That's what I try to do. Like, you know, if I'm playing a game and I think that toilet looks like a real toilet, yeah, I will go, that looks like a real toilet. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna think in my head, oh, that looks like a real toilet, but not say it. It's like, even if no one gives a damn that it looks like a real toilet, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that looks like a real toilet. If I go like, oh my god, this bathroom interior looks great, this couch looks fantastic, or even like, man, those cookies over there like look delicious. You know, so, like I know it's such a bad example, but just like if I think about it, I'm gonna say it. Even if it's like redundant, I'll say it. You know what I mean? It's because it's on my mind. It's something I'm thinking about with the game, and if I want to think about it, I should say it as well. And that's what I would say to myself. Yeah, thank you for the question there, Zoe. But that's what I would go back and say to myself: is be yourself quicker, build up the trust in the audience as quick as possible, and basically play the stuff you enjoy, but also finish the stuff you enjoy, 100%. Malcolm Goday says, "What is a game you tried out, thinking you'd only play a little bit, but got till you got bored, but were surprised at how much you enjoyed it and played it to the end?" Interesting, because I know there's like games that are like feel like the opposite of that. Like I think like I played Neo and I really thought I would love it and I didn't enjoy it that much. Or but I think games that I like that thought I was just gonna be like passing the time, I guess, and just be like, okay, whatever, like we'll play for a bit. I would say what's the name of that game that I played 2 years ago? I forgot. Oh my god, I forget the name of the game. It's so early in the morning, I'm blanking. This is awful. Wulong Fallen Dynasty? Is that what's the name of the game? I was like, okay, like, I know I'm going to enjoy this game a little bit, so let's play. Let me check here now. Is it Wulong Fallen? Let me see. Let me check. Wulong Fallen Dynasty. Yeah. So I played Wulong Fallen Dynasty thinking to myself, this is going to be, you know, okay, it's gonna be like a Souls-like game that I can really like, you know, sink my teeth into it for a bit. We'll see how far we get in it. I know there's a good chance that like I probably won't enjoy it that much, but like by the end of it, I was like, this combat is incredible. And like here's like, I couldn't tell you what happened in the story. I couldn't. It wasn't the best story in the world, but I was like so enamored with every boss fight, every moment. I was playing through that game like, you know, religiously, like eyes glued to the screen. It was really just like such like an enjoyable time for me. I'm trying to think of any other games like in the past of my life as well where I thought like, okay, I'll play this game for a bit just to pass the time. Let me think. Like maybe like a PS Plus game or something like that I downloaded, and I was like, because I don't have PS Plus anymore, but when I did have PS Plus, I wonder if there's any games like that where I was like, I'll just play for a bit and see if I enjoy it, but actually in the end I like started. I know Wulong is probably the best example of that. I don't know, because like a lot of the games like I feel like I've either enjoyed or just stopped playing because if I didn't enjoy them. Actually, my friend gave me a loan of the game Dead Island one time. And I remember everyone was crapping on it because it had an amazing trailer, but like then the game like wasn't what the trailer was made it out to be. And when I played it, I remember thinking to myself, this is so freaking fun. And then I had a bunch of people being like, well, but it sucks because it's this and that. It's like, yeah, but like, I understand that the trailer was misleading, but I'm having such a good time in it. So really, I just like, you know, I think that's probably the perfect example of like, I'll just borrow this game for a bit. It was only supposed to be for a week. And then when he came back, you know, we had to trade back or whatever, because like he finished the game I played and we said we were going to do it for a week. I was like, can I trade you a different game? He's like, oh, sure. You know, I don't even like Dead Island. And then so I traded him a different game. We played Dead Island some more, finished Dead Island. And then I remember I liked it so much that I bought the remasters and then I bought like the Steam version, and I really enjoyed that game. And then when all other Dead Islands came out, I played them religiously all the time. So yeah, like it's actually when I got my first job, my paycheck, one part of my paycheck was spent on buying Dead Island: The Riptide. So there was like a big thing for me where like that game became something that I truly enjoyed after just thinking it would just be like something I didn't really or wasn't really into, I suppose. Yeah, Wulong Fallen Dynasty is really good though. It's a really good game. Victoria says, do you have any hopes or expectations for the next area in Genshin? Additionally, are you looking forward to doing your very first summer event? I wish I had better answers for this sometimes. Really, I just want new characters that are going to be really cool and really interesting to talk to. And, you know, I want another Citlali, Navia, Yaimiko type character. And what I mean by that is the character that's going to be like burrowed into my heart forever, who is everywhere. Like, I feel like the Sumero version of that is probably like a Sino who's like everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, nearly every quest you do, there's Yaimiko, there's Navia, there's, you know, Citlali, there's Sino. I don't know who the Liyue version of that would be. Maybe, who would the Liyue, maybe like, would Ganyu maybe? But like, she doesn't show up, well, she does in events, she is like she's there for events, right? Maybe Hu Tao, maybe, is probably that, like, because the parameters aren't just burrow into my heart, because like a lot of characters are burned into my heart, but the characters who are like everywhere. Hu Tao might be a good example of that, because she is like in a lot of events and stuff like that. Maybe Zhongli could be the good example of that. The Mondstadt version of that, I feel like, is probably like is probably Kaya, right? I would say, right? I want to say it's God, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it's a character like that that's like, okay, this is like the MVP of this place, and not that Kai is the MVP of Mondstadt. Maybe like, you know, you could probably, I would consider maybe Venti to be that. But like, yeah, some characters like that I really enjoy. Just like a whole different location. I want like this time around, you know, if we are going to like a snowier area or something like that. I'm not sure if that's what that's gonna work. I haven't really looked up anything into it at all. So like, just like a different area, a location that like I feel like maybe. Even a location that is a bit dingier, maybe. Like, maybe an area that's kind of, like, feels a bit, like, I don't know. That feels like, that's not always gorgeous to look at, but it's still pretty because it's weird, if that makes sense. It's something like that. And in terms of my first summer event, yes. I'm so excited for the first summer event. It's actually one of the things I think about, like, every single day. I don't know who's going to be in the summer event, what's going to be in the summer event, but I know that like this is going to be my first one, and it's going to be enjoyable for me, and hopefully enjoyable for all of you guys as well, because this is something that like I think is the most requested thing when it comes to event reactions, is the summer event, and I think it's definitely a something that is the most like anticipated for me personally, is the summer event. So yeah, I hope that like well, I know it's going to be, if they are going to have a summer event, it's probably going to be as big as all the other summer events so far, so I'm very, very excited for that. Lunas, in Honkai Star Rail, each relic set has a design that makes a full outfit. When you have one of each piece, headpiece, gloves, and chest, and boots, If you design a relic set, what would you want it to look like? See, I love that they have like, yeah, cowboy boots in this game as well. I think that'd be really cool. I know this sounds really weird, but like, there's this K-pop artist called Jinsoul. And a while back, I saw a outfit she wore. It was for like, I think like a dance, I'll try and find it, but like it was for like a dance. And it's gonna sound so weird, but it was just like a t-shirt at 3/4 lengths, but like it looks so cool. It looks so cool. But like I would love like a very like weird modern take on that thing, like a just like cool quarter legs, like a crop top and like some high top sneakers or something, you know what I mean? And like, you know, a bracelet instead of gloves. Just, I know that's I'd like in terms of a hat, like I guess you could just have like a cap, like legitimately like just something like so modern or something like that. But if I had to like fit it into the game and make it like fit into the world of the game, I think a full-on wrestler's outfit might be cool as well. Like you have the championship belt as like as one, or maybe like the boots, you for like a luchador mask. You know, the wrestling gloves that some people have as well, something like that also. But yeah, like I don't know, I feel like the modern outfit would be like really, really fun as well for a Honkai Star Rail. I know it's so funny, like relics I don't usually think about a lot. I don't usually think about them at all, mostly. But yeah, something extremely modern or something that's based on like wrestling or something like that. And if not that, it would be like, I guess, like full armor or something like that, I guess. Yeah. Hope that like answers your question. Something very modern, something very cool, something very like pretty, but all black. And all black as well. I hope I can find the picture of that outfit, because if I can't, like, you guys won't know what I'm talking about. It's a very cute outfit. It is. But it's just a casual outfit, but I think it'd be very cool. Thank you. The next question is from Hypernova. If you were in the Honkai Star Rail universe, which Path/Eon traits would you envision yourself following? Erudition, knowledge, abundance, harmony, nihility, elation, preservation, destruction, and hunt. I'm gonna be so honest and say, like, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. I think that, like, personality-wise, maybe, I might be in... People might say harmony or abundance, but again, I don't know abundance well enough yet. But preservation might be cool as well. The only reason why, like, I think destruction is really cool is because so far I don't think the people who have had destruction in the game haven't been people that like just go around like beating things up for no reason. They're people that, like, you know, are tough but also, like, you know, are good people. And I would like to be that. You know, I'm not saying I am that, but I would like to be that. I would like to be under the banner of someone who is, like, extremely tough, but is also someone who can, like, you know, be good to people as well. You know, and I think it's more than easy to be both things, you know. But that would be kind of like my pick for that as well. I'm not always, like, you know, very knowledgeable about these things. Being, as you guys know, I'm not very knowledgeable about these things, but, like, I hope that, like, gives you, like, a good enough answer for something like that, because again, I have no idea about, like, which I would pick. I think, like, it would be like maybe destruction just for the desire of that. I think maybe harmony would be good as well, just because I like the idea of, like, you know, being like a very supportive character in a lot of ways too. And I feel like harmony obviously doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be for a bubbly character, it doesn't have to be for a happy character. But yeah, I think destruction would be cool just because of what it implies. Strong, but, like, also I think very protective and defensive as well, and good. I think it's good. That's from my view anyway. I also asked a question, which was a very simple question, which is, what have you been playing, watching, or reading lately? And the first answer is from Heck. And they say, I've been playing chapters 1 to 2 of Deltarune, fantastic. Since the new ones came out, I just started chapter 2, but I'm very excited to get into the new stuff. Chapter 2 is fantastic. And I've been watching the anime called Shangri-La Frontier, which I'm loving. It's similar to Sword Art Online. Most of the anime takes place inside a VR video game. It's clearly written by a gamer because it's accurate in most every way to real video games. Unlike most anime like this, I heavily recommend it. It's very chill and fun. Also, I've been playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on Switch 2. It feels like a whole new experience. Oh my god, heck. First of all, so happy you're playing Chapter 1 and 2 of Deltarune. I don't know if it's again or just for the first time, but did you say it was for the first time or is it again? Either way, it's such a cool idea. Yeah, get into the new stuff. But yeah, such a fantastic experience, such a fantastic game. I will say that, like, with what you said about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I'm on this. I haven't played it on Switch 2, but legitimately, in my Pokemon Scarlet and Violet playthrough, I said, I'm paraphrasing, but like, if this game had voice acting and had a better frame rate, I think it would be considered by most, rightly so, one of the best Pokemon games ever created. I said the best Pokemon game ever created. Now, because it has the better frame rate and no longer chugs and it's looking amazing and it's like a different experience, I genuinely think that it is at least the second greatest Pokemon game ever made. Now, like, I know people might say, well, Calvin, like, the upgrading a game shouldn't do that because, like, obviously, like, it released a bit poorly, but I think it just shows that, like, they have the capabilities to do that when they have the hardware, and in this case, we have, like, an unbelievably well done game from a frame rate perspective, at least. And now that the frame rate's good, the graphics were always. I think the game was always pretty, in my opinion. It had a different art style. The graphics are good. The story is really freaking good. The locations are fantastic. The progression is amazing. The characters are honestly some of the best in the entire franchise. I think it's safe to say that this is like one of the greatest Pokemon games of all time. The only reason why I won't put it at number 1 yet is because Pokemon Silver to me is still like the greatest Pokemon game ever made. Now, here's the thing, right? And someone might say as well, wasn't Sun and Moon your favorite? 110%, but like recently I like changed my perspective a little bit, and Sun and Moon still is top 5, and that happens, by the way. I want to make that perfectly clear. Like, you can change your opinion on stuff as time goes on all the time. It's been like over a year since I talked about Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I looked back and I played a bit of Silver, and I'm like, no, this is just so incredible and so good still. But yeah, I think that, like, all it would take is like, and I think it's unfair because it's not gonna have voice acting. They won't have voice acting for a very long time. So you can take it as pseudo me saying that Scarlet and Violet is like the best Pokemon game ever made. You know what I mean? It's so incredible. And they've improved so many things. So I'm very, like, I'm happy you're getting into playing this because, like, again, if I got a Switch 2, it'd be the first thing I'd be checking out, honestly. It'd be definitely the first thing I'd be checking out. And in terms of, like, the anime, I haven't heard of it. But maybe I've heard of the name, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. Leanne said, I haven't gone to playing the new Deltarune chapters, unfortunately, but I recently finished replaying Sonic Unleashed thanks to an unreleased recomp. Currently, I've been on Transformers stint. Last year's Transformers one has rekindled my love for the series, so we're working our way through the different shows and series, and I've gone to the Transformers Cyberverse. You'll get to Deltarune. It won't go away, you know? You have all the time in the world. For me, with Transformers, like, obviously, like, I've been getting into, like, the deeper facets of Transformers because of Roman Reacts and seeing how deep it actually can get. But I'm actually, like, always interested in, like, seeing, like, how, you know, like, how wildly different my expectations are from the actual reality of what Transformers is, as well as the same time. But, like, I always love the idea of having, like, a stint of, like, a franchise. Recently, I got into, like, a Lord of the Rings stint for, like, a week. I was just, like, for a week, I consumed all this Lord of the Rings media. It was actually crazy. And now I'm, like, kind of, like, I think I'm just, like, back onto my usual stuff now as well. I'm rewatching Monster, but, like, I love having, like, a period of time where you just get so into something you love dearly, and then, like, it fades a bit again, and you still love it, but it's obviously in the background of your life for a bit. Another example I would give is, like, when I get into, like, YuGiOh. I remember, like, during COVID, I, like, got mega into YuGiOh. I'm always into YuGiOh. I watch YuGiOh, like, once a week, like, old episodes. But, like, that time I remember I was mega into YuGiOh, and it was everything. I was playing the games constantly. I was playing, I was watching the show at the same time. I was building decks and all this stuff. I was drawing stuff from YuGiOh, and it felt really good. And it's sometimes very, like, nice to do that too. It's just nice to, like, get into a franchise for a short period of time, and then it goes back into the background for a bit, and then it comes back into the forefront. It's nice that way. It's nice to have stints like that. Thank you, Liam. Yasasanas says, I'm currently reading letters from Ginza Shioda's stationery shop, watching One Piece episode 189. That's, sorry, 1089 and playing HSR and Genshin. I haven't heard of letters from Ginza Shioda stationery shop. But I know that with One Piece, like I've actually saw more of it from Roma React. It's letters from oh, that's really cute. It's a really cool art style as well for the cover of the book. The letters book. But yeah, with One Piece, I've been getting into it more as well in terms of like just Roma Reacts. Obviously, I haven't watched the episodes, but like I've seen the first episode, and it's actually like, you know, really interesting to see it from the perspective of like fans showing me stuff and stuff. I guess, and Golden Witch Beatrice has been showing me stuff as well. And what's so interesting about One Piece is that like the art style from these videos, you see the art style is impeccable, the comedy is impeccable. It's all like really, really cool stuff. So like I can never like, you know, ever deny how absolutely like incredible like this show must be and this world must be for people. So I'm very glad you're like on episode 1089, because that is like dedication. But I wonder if you watched it all in the row, or did you watch it bit by bit as it came out? Because like I kind of wish I could go back and watch it bit by bit as it came out, but obviously like you can't just, you know, get what you want out of life like that. But it'd be really cool if you could. Yeah, like it seems like such a really cool show that like all the time I'm like, oh man, if I got into this, it'd be absolutely amazing. Actually, you know what the big thing for me is? I like, and this maybe sounds weird, I like watching anime on my TV. It's like cozy for me. I don't like hooking up on like my laptop, because I like having my laptop. I use it for like YouTube and, you know, working on YouTube. But like I would love to have like the dub on my TV so I can actually like, you know, watch the anime while drawing or something, or having it like, and by the way, I don't need it to be like a sub. I watch sub mostly when it comes to anime, but like I think for a big show like that, it'd be great to have the dub in the background as I'm drawing. You know, as I'm drawing or doing other stuff, having the dub in the background would be so freaking good. But obviously in my country, in Ireland, they don't have the rights to it on Crunchyroll, unfortunately. But still, like if they ever do, I would definitely get into it for sure. Thank you. What's Your Damage says, hello, I've sadly been very busy and not so much time to play games, but I've been watching a lot of random old anime or TV I like, such as The Two Broke Girls, which is very crass, and rewatching my favorite animes like Fruit Baskets or Great Pretender. The latter just has one of my favorite anime endings ever. It makes me emotional every time. I have a fondness for anime ending songs. I have seen The Great Pretender, and it actually is like, you know, a very, very good show. It can be very like, it's like, I think we talked about before how like it is like one of those shows where like it's a main character who has been like, you know, very much mistreated by the world quite a bit as well, but it's really well written. In terms of like Two Broke Girls, I have like so many friends who love that show, and I see YouTube shorts of it all the time, I believe, and it's like so like fun, like just from the YouTube shorts perspective. I actually like really, really enjoy it. Like even watching the YouTube shorts is really cool too. But I've like I think is that the one with Kat Dennings in it? I think it is, right? Is it? Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. And Fruits Basket is something I've always wanted to watch, because again, people have suggested all the time that I would like, I like slice of life stuff. I really, really do. And I feel like Fruit Baskets has some emotional sides to it too that could be very cool to witness as well. But yeah, like I think like it's like, I find that sometimes I'm playing games on the channel all the time. But sometimes like I genuinely like, you know, have to like, you know, make sure like I find time for stuff outside of the channel as well, if that makes sense. Because obviously like there's a lot of stuff that like, how do I say it? There's like a lot of stuff that like I really want to catch up on. But like obviously I get to play games on the channel, so like I'm very lucky in that way. But there's so many shows I definitely want to catch up on as well. But yeah, The Great Pretender is fantastic. Two Broke Girls, for what I've seen, is really, really funny. Fruit Basket is something I definitely want to get into as well. But like I think it's always good going back and watching old anime too. I actually like it when I do get the chance. I do rewatch it. I'm rewatching Monster actually right now, and I was rewatching like 2 Haikyuu episodes a week, and now I'm rewatching 2 Monster episodes a week. And it's not that I'm like limiting myself to 2. It's just I usually get around to like watching 2, and I'm watching them with like another channel as well, LM Reactions, who are really fantastic as well. They're really cool. That's going to do for this week's or this month's Q&A and community video. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for always supporting me and this channel. And thank you to everyone who asked and answered questions. Thank you to Tyfire2 as well, Jamie Bold, Janet the Banana, The Ghost of Zuma, Felicious Felix, Yule, Radish and Noosta, Death Trap, Lynx Markey, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Heck, Leon, High Kasparian, Jared Beanham, and the highest tier of my YouTube members, Royal Gamer 7 and Blasco. I'll see you all so soon. Bye bye.